Now, social bookmarking sites are starting to wise up to the fact that us internet marketers are dropping links on there not because we want to share them with people, but because we want to get the benefit of their site, we want to get their visitors, and we want to make money from them. Now, some social bookmarking sites are happy about this, others are not so happy. So what I want to talk about in this video is effective social bookmarking, how you can effectively use the social bookmarking sites to get your sites indexed and much more. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you see, many people when they social bookmark a site, they have one account. You go and create a social bookmarking account on, I don't know, Dig or Stumble Upon or whatever it might be, or Only Why. We'll talk about all those in a minute. But what you do is you create one of these, an account, you go and bookmark your site, and then you sit back and go, well, I've socially bookmarked it. Now, that's all well and good. Yes, you have socially bookmarked it. But the trouble is many of these sites realise that the majority of marketers only get 1 or 2 bookmarks. They are well aware of the fact that they will bookmark it themselves and walk away. So they don't tend to give a lot of value, or even in some cases display anything without a certain number of bookmarks. What I've found from testing is really you want at least 5 bookmarks for it to be worthwhile. That's a minimum. If you can get more, fantastic. A single bookmark though is often enough to get the search engine spiders to your site, and that is one of the things that we're trying to achieve with this whole process. Is we want to get the search engine spiders to our site, we want them to index it, get it ranked, and to realise that there's backlinks and people are starting to find our site useful. You can also get some traffic, again depending on what you are bookmarking and where you're bookmarking. You could get anything from a few visitors to 10, 20 to several hundred, or even several thousand if you have something that's very interesting and people find useful. Basically, the more links you have on a social bookmarking site, the better it is for you. So you want to pay people to bookmark your site, do it yourself, encourage your visitors to do so, whatever you can do. You want to do as much as you can to get as many incoming links as possible. So one of the first steps with effective social bookmarking is to make sure you've targeted the right keyword. Now, this isn't a video on keyword research, so I'm not going to go into detail here, but you want to be targeting long-tail keywords that are targeted to your buyers, that have people who are interested in it. If you're in the personal development market, social bookmarking with the keyword personal development isn't going to do you a lot of good. But if you're, say, selling a personal development audio book, then using that as a keyword is going to be a lot better. So make sure you have targeted the right keywords, that you will have done your keyword research, but we're not going to go into more detail about that. You also want to create a good description, but don't stuff keywords in it. I've seen descriptions and people sort of are shoehorning keywords in there, and when you read it, it looks dreadful. You've got to remember that social bookmarking is social. It's read by people, and people who read a weird description that looks funny are likely to not go through. The description needs to be something that grabs people's attention. Use the keywords in it, but only so long as it makes sense. So the description is going to be seen by real people, so it's got to drag them in and make them want to come through to your website. You also want to create a catchy title. Again, you want to grab attention with it, so people who are looking at a big list of social sites go, that sounds interesting, I want to know more. So you want to do that. If you can, then rotate the titles and descriptions in when you social bookmark. So don't just use one title and one description on every single site. Rotate them, create half a dozen of each and use different combinations so that it just doesn't look like they're all the same. That helps. I mean, obviously if you're doing it manually or you're paying someone, then you can do this, but if you're using something like OnlyWire, you haven't got the opportunity to do this. So your two options really, if you're gonna, you can pay someone to do it, or one thing is to create a number of social bookmarking accounts yourself, or pay someone to create them for you, or trade bookmarks with friends, family, relatives, internet marketing peers, whatever it might be. Find people that you can trade bookmarks with. I get my family to bookmark mine, and I have a network of internet marketing colleagues that I trust and work well with, and we bookmark each other's sites. All we do is, I'll get a Skype message of one of them saying, hey, I've created a new site, can you bookmark it? I'll go off and do it for them, and vice versa. When I want something done, they'll do that for me. You can outsource the bookmarking, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. It's going to save you a lot of time. Yes, it will cost you some money, but it's going to save you an awful lot of time. Now, when you are social bookmarking, many people just think of the big names and just go for those. But think about the smaller bookmarking sites as well as non-English sites. You can often get a lot of traffic from non-English sites and smaller sites as well. So they're always worth considering. So here's a strategy for effective social bookmarking. Firstly, create a list of keywords to target. Now this list needs to be in two formats. You want 8 to 10 keywords, say, long tail keywords that all have decent traffic, low competition. What you want to do is you want one set to be comma separated and the other set to be space separated. So this means that if my keyword is keywords to target, I would have keywords to target, comma, and then the next keyword. That's a comma separated keyword list. A space separated keyword list would be keywords to target with no spaces, or keywords dash to dash target, and then the space and the next keyword. So different social bookmarking sites want these in different formats. So if you create them up front, then you've got them prepared and you're not going to be caught short. Then create 3 to 5, maybe more different descriptions. One of my favourite techniques for this is I write out a description and then I feed it through my article spinner. And I spin it as I would an article, and I come out with lots of different descriptions that way. It's very, very effective for me, but if you haven't got a spinner, just write out 3 or 5 different descriptions. And same with titles. I often spin my titles as well, but you want at least 3 to 5 different titles. And then what you do is you bookmark each and every site with a different combination of title and description, and that way it looks like it's a different entry on every single website, and it's going to help the search engines realize the value of your website. Now obviously if you can outsource this, it's going to save you an awful lot of time, but see the later videos for this. We'll talk about that later on. We talked about trading bookmarks as well. If you're trading bookmarks with people, send them the keywords, the description and the title, and say, right, can you use this description, this title and these keywords? And they will do it for you. And of course we're going to talk about this more, but encourage your visitors to bookmark your site as well. Make it easy for them to do it. Put buttons on your site, whatever it might be. Make it very, very easy for them to be able to socially bookmark your site so that you can benefit from that. Very, very powerful technique. This is all you need to know about effective social bookmarking. You now know enough to create a strategy, which we just talked about here, to really, really benefit from social bookmarking. As we continue to go through this program, we're going to go more in depth about how to do the social bookmarking itself and how to really benefit from it.